Hello and welcome to Regina Miller Talk Show. Tonight is about my father, and that is the most amazing man in my life. And he was a businessman, fought in the Vietnam War, was married to my amazing mother all of my life. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how he truly introduced me to want to become a businesswoman, because he was a businessman and he was a role model for me as my father. Like, share, subscribe.
Before we get into it, I want you to tell me, what was it like having a father that came back from the Vietnam, and how did he get into his entrepreneurship spirit? Because I know the story, but I want you to tell them the story.
Your grandfather, fortunately, when he came home from Vietnam, praise God. He knew that he was getting out of the army after that, and he got out and he went to New York, where he already was taking care of my mother and my oldest sisters while he was in the military. My mother, she relocated to New York, where her mother was. My father decided he would never go to work again for anyone or anything after he fought in the Vietnam War. And so he knew he needed some type of trade. So he went to business school in Brooklyn, New York. And that landed him to be a shoe store owner. He worked his way up. There was a shoe store called Mays, 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 downtown Brooklyn. My dad worked his way up, all the way up from just a regular salesman to manager. And then he went around the corner from Mays and opened up his own shoe store. He was the shoe store manager for Mays. He worked himself up from a shoe store salesman all the way up to the manager. And then he said, bye-bye. The store around the corner was vacant. And somehow my dad opened up his own shoe store. Sure. And then my dad was a very good looking man. So the women loved to go in his store just to see him. Just imagine a good looking man selling shoes, and he in there with 3-piece custom made suits on every day. Hair looking like Steve Harvey, like it ain't even no hair out of place. Okay. It just like, I used to be mad at I used to want to fight all the women when I went to the shoe store, because you could tell who like your daddy, you know what I mean? And they just be flirting. And I'm like, I got a mama at home. You imagine a kid like, my dad used to be like, I can't take you nowhere, but you just won't stay home. You know what I mean? Right. I mean, he knew the ladies loved him,
But this is the thing that get me. Growing up, I used to have a real big obsession with sneakers. And y'all used to look at me like, you always buying sneakers. I get it from my grandfather. Like, y'all should, that's clear. That's clear right there.
I never denied nothing. I never denied anything. I never denied anything, because I know the traits and stuff like that, Yes, I know the traits. Like he's living through us. Like, he was an amazing man. And so this is go ahead.
No, you got it. Go ahead.
So this is the kicker as to why we having this conversation. Long story short, I was a beggar. I always wanted something. When every style came in New York, I didn't want it when it came out, but I had my own style, okay? But I wanted what I wanted. My dad got tired of me begging, he said. So he said, you know what? I am going to come down to the store after school. And I was in junior high school. He said, come down to the store after school, and I'm going to put you to work. And he said, I'll tell you what it is when you get there. When I get there. So I got there and I said, okay. I said, I'm here. I said, what I got to do? He said, that's the thing. I want you to look at this store and tell me what's going to make more women come in here. He said, I want you to go around the store and look. He said, because you always want fashion. My dad knew I had style, He said, he said, with the fashion that you have and the taste that you have to spend my money, he said, come in here and tell me what's missing in this store. I had to be 11, maybe. Had windows. If you're familiar with cities, you go to some stores, they have the window fronts. And then it's like a little hall, and then you walk into the store, right? So I told him, I said, Daddy, I need a couple of dollars. I didn't really know how much, but I told him to give me his card. I'm going to go down there to the fabric store and I'll be back. And I said, do I have a budget? And he said, if it's going to make what you saying do what it do, he said, no. He said, just go get what you need, and I want to see what you come up with. I had a vision. I went in the store and gave the lady my vision. She was nice enough to even come down with me, because it was just 2 doors down, and help me design the window. So it was like fabric draping inside of each other, and the colors were the colors of the shoes that I put in the window. It was just a pretty window for a lady to say, like, we look at window, we be like, oh, let me go in there. You know what I mean? Right. So I got boxes. I stacked shoes in certain ways. I laid them, honey. And I went in the store and got his best shoes. I'm going to tell y'all how proud he was of me. My dad didn't come outside until me and the lady was done. Like, Dad came outside, my dad almost really started crying. But he had staff, so everybody was looking. It was like him and 3 of his staff members, and they were, like really applauding me. They was like, how is your daughter this creative? And he was like, that's why I told her to come here and do this. Okay. I thought he was that was enough for me. The look on his face, I was like, I did it. So we went home. Me and my dad, we went home. I was the happiest kid because we going home, because I wanted to go back home and tell Nana. So, because back then it wasn't like, oh, here's the phone. I couldn't send her no picture. Like, you had to wait till you get home to tell the news back then. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was, and exactly. Oh, the whole way home, I'm just happy. I'm jumping up on the train. I'm just acting up, And my dad,
that's
he just
sitting there. Secret.
Exactly.
that was, you want to test somebody on holding something, take it back to the old days. You had to keep it.
Yes, but you had to
That's why
wait.
people said, that's why nobody can keep a secret now.
Yes. Everybody like, you know how Nana is. Nana has never changed. Nana was like, we're going to see how many shoes sell tomorrow.
Right. Y'all doing all of this, we're going to wait till the numbers come in. She was a numbers gal.
Nana was about the coins, Shauna. You know that, okay?
Coins and everybody else coins.
Yes.
She one of them. She counting her pocket and yours. Making sure you.
And I mean, look, Shauna, she opening your mail and everything. She making sure she ain't confused about anything.
She used to call me. Honey, you ain't pay this bill. She was like, y'all get y'all mail sent to my house. I'm gonna open it. I changed everything that day. I told every one of my bill people, hey, this is my new address. My grandmother opening my mail. I can't do nothing. She used to be like, why this bill late? I'm 19. I don't know how to pay no bills.
She sure did. She used to get on you. She used to get on you, baby. Yes. She said, I told Shauna I ain't gonna always be here. She gonna have to do some stuff.
That was my accountant, low key.
And you look here, she proud of you because you doing some stuff now. You doing too much, right, Shauna?
I myself.
She in the groove now. You in the groove now. So she saying well done, because she sure used to worry about you, honey. Lord have mercy. But long story short, thank God for memories, right? So my mom was like, long as y'all been in at this 10 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? She said, long as y'all make some money, honey. I got home The next day, my daddy came in the house. He had roses for my mom. Me and my sister had chocolate candy. My mama done cooked his favorite meal, steak, potatoes, and corn. Like, we celebrating. So we get to the table because we ate like a family. You know, we waited till my dad got home from work, and my mom let him eat first, and then we all, not eat first, but she put his plate in front of him, and then we could eat whatever we wanted after he had his food. And that's the kind of family we had. For those of you in the comments who might say something, it's just traditional. That's traditional, and it worked for our family because we had a real daddy, and he was a real man, and that's the kind you honor. That's the kind you follow. That's the kind you respect. Okay, so I did not know.
That's how
y'all ain't ready for this. Y'all did not know. Nobody knew. I think my mom knew because we did have a phone. Like, he could have called her from the shoe store to the house. So I think my mom knew because she cooked his favorite dinner, steak, potatoes, and corn. Honey, my dad said every shoe in the window sold out in 24 hours.
Wow. All because of marketing. That's where I get it from. Go ahead, Mom.
I was 11, maybe 12.
Ooh. With an eye.
With an eye. The lady at the fabric store, she had that eye too. So I told her my vision, and she came down. She didn't even charge me nothing. People today charge you to help you do stuff like that. She came in that window and she said, which way you want it this way? Because she had to somehow, she pinned it this way and she pinned it. She followed my vision. And, she just laid it where I wanted to go. Honey, that's why I always say, if I had a team that just, could just follow the vision and do stuff. Oh my God.
Yeah. Follow instructions. People act like it's hard. Just follow the vision.
That's why people in business, they feel like, let me just do it myself, because it's just like the energy that you gotta do to get somebody to do something. It's just like, forget it, I'll do it myself.
Right. The energy that it takes to get someone else to do it, you could have done it twice.
1,000 times.
Done it 3 times.
And then it don't turn out right. So then you real mad now.
That's like they say, the saying goes, good help is hard to find. And I mean,
absolutely,
it's still nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. But the fact that all of the shoes that y'all had in the window pulled out, that said a lot about, the eye that you had at such a young age, and also what your father saw in you for him to say, I'm gonna get my daughter to reorganize this whole window since she want to be taking stuff, because I know you was taking stuff.
Yes. So what happened? Are we still on TikTok?
No, it was echoing, so I had to close. You're still on TikTok. I'm
okay.
So, but is there anything else? We're at 22 minutes, which I think is good. We don't have to elaborate.
Yeah. So to sum that up, that is the beginning of Regina Miller, the businesswoman, because going to my dad's store every other month to decorate the windows and decorate the inside, and just, he even let me go inside and do stuff after that. And, just allow me, he allowed me to arrange the shoes to sell, because they were like on boxes. I don't know if you ever went in a shoe store and the shoes on boxes. Well, I convinced my dad to take them off boxes and put them on stacks. So he got like these, this furniture that was stackable, and the shoes begin to, like you go on Dillard's now and the shoes is stacked on the table. He had those versus them sitting on the box. So it also upgraded his look. It upgraded his store. And it took it from this box store, shoe store look to now it's this fabulous ladies shoe store look. And he was selling out of everything. And I don't know if that's how he ended up going to Manhattan, because I feel like we were in Manhattan before, but It probably is when that happened, because I do remember I had to go to the Manhattan store and do some things too with my sister. Now, my sister Trina, she's also a decorator and she got an eye for things. So her and my sister Yvette, they were responsible for the Manhattan store. And that's a whole nother story, but my siblings were involved. Like, we all were involved in our father's shoe store. So business, I'm going to leave this for my followers and my subscribers. Business is not always what you see. It is what you grow up with. When I say see, I mean like the internet. Today, everybody on the internet, everybody look like they running a business. No. Business to me is the brick and mortar people, the people that got the people who paying bills, the people who you see. I used to see my mom and dad at the table with the tax stuff. They doing inventory, all these 100,000 tags on the table, just real big business. You know what I'm saying? Like, when first of the month come, my dad used to say, "Life is a bitch and then you die." Every first of the month. And I knew why. Because we say it now. Every first of the month, we choking thousands of dollars in bills. But it is a good life. And sometimes you can't look at what's going out, you look at what's coming in. And thank God, from the time my father had the profit coming in, it's like a generational wealth thing that is, sometimes you don't see the wealth. But you got to follow your heart. You got to dig in. You got to find your purpose. Find your thing. For him, it was shoes. For me, it's hair. And sharing these stories on family, that's how people realize really who they are. So what I'm saying is, the person who in business and you think that it's not going to work, or you feel like this is not it, maybe you should turn that same business, just turn it into your purpose. And see how that works for you.
You guys are tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. For those that are on TikTok, YouTube, follow my mother on the Regina Miller God's Property YouTube channel. Her YouTube channel is called Regina Miller God's Property.
Yes. And if you don't do nothing else, please follow God, because that's who I'm following. Ain't nothing but Jesus over here. And we're going to end with that tonight.